Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. There's something I've always found a bit strange, a bit weird, is being a professional criminal. Professional criminality, right? I've always found it a bit odd. Now, don't worry, this will tie to Doctor Who, right? Yeah, give me a minute, hold your breath. Oh, no, do not hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. If you do, you'll die of asphyxiation before it gets to the point you will keel over. That will not be good. I would like to keep you as a subscriber, assuming that you are. Rule number one of YouTubing: don't kill your audience. That's probably a good idea. Do not murder your audience. Anyway, one thing I always thought was strange is being a professional career criminal. Now, what's strange about that? Well, I don't really know what it's like in real life. I know what it's like in crime drama, and I enjoy crime drama, right? Crime drama is always fun, especially when they're planning a big heist or whatever, right? That's always I find that genuinely fascinating. But the amount of work that goes into it and the reward you get for it, I don't normally see career criminals living much better than your average normal like a plumber, right? I don't really see them having that much better a standard of living and lifestyle, right? And the amount of what they do is equal or greater than somebody who has a normal job. So why go to all the trouble of I guess because it's fun, right? I guess because it's exciting. But why go to all the trouble? But not when you get to be a career criminal, right? Why go to all the trouble of working hard and you have to have a real genuine, work ethic, and you do, to be a successful criminal. Why do that when you could be in pretty much exactly the same place by living a straight life? Well, that's me for you, right? I have a bit of a somebody generally speaking, I think the social order of the world is a good thing to maintain, right? So what's that got to do with Doctor Who? Well, and in genre in general, in entertainment in general, over the last few years, we've seen an insane new skill set pop up, and not a skill set of telling stories or being able to entertain one, but no, it's a skill set of being able to cover for the inability to tell stories. Now, why do people have the inability to tell stories? Because telling stories is work, right? It's genuine work. You gotta work at it, and you gotta treat it like a job, right? And it takes work, and people don't really like doing work. But instead, much like the career criminals, they work very, 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 very hard in making themselves not appear to be useless, talentless hacks. I mean, they work insanely hard on that and come up with a whole bunch of new skill sets, which we're going to be talking about today. I mean, look, the master of that, the absolute king of that, is J.J. Abrams. Now, I genuinely enjoyed The Force Awakens, right? I genuinely enjoyed Star Trek Star Trek, not Star Trek Into Darkness, that was garbage. But no, I genuinely enjoyed it. But yeah, once you look back at them, you see there's really nothing there. It's all a bunch of tricks to make it seem like a story. And there wasn't a story. Force Awakens was the first act of a story, but there wasn't a beginning, middle, and end, right? And that's the boring hard work that people want to avoid. After I record this video, I'm doing a review of Mark of the Rani, which is not an exciting Doctor Who story, right? It's not particularly exciting. Much better than I remember, but what it is a workman-like script that tells a story. It's not perfect. It's not it's not Great Expectations. It's not Nicholas Nickleby, right? It's not that exciting, quite frankly. But it does do the job, right? It does the job of a writer. So what do they do now instead? What about one of these tricks to make it seem like you're telling a story is to have big world-shaking revelations, or universe-shaking revelations that make you go dun dun dun, whoa, Spock's a murderer, dun dun dun, that sort of thing. And they never ever link it up with having it make sense to make a story, because that's not the point. The point is to fool you into thinking that you're experiencing a story, right? Which or in entertainment, I would say. That's really the goal of it. So one of those ways, one of the ways of doing that is you go into the origins, you go to the early history, right? And it's always a really cheap move. And the reason they do it is because they've seen it work and not understand it. I think one of the One of the earliest, most world-shaking Doctor Who stories has to be Deadly Assassin, right? Deadly Assassin completely changed the view we had of Time Lord Society and Gallifrey, and I think changed it for the better. People hated it at the time, right? It was really at odds with Time Lord Society as we see them, as like a very lofty, beneficial society, and now then became Deadly Assassin, like, oh, the backstabbing scumbags. CIA was absolutely based on the CIA. Deadly Assassin was based on the Manchurian Candidate, and it really just talks about the skullduggery, right? The dirtiness that is Western style politics. But what it didn't contradict anything that went before. It looked at it from a new direction. They don't do that, right? They don't do that. They look at what's gone before and said, "Oh no, it wasn't really like that. Let's change it," because they're not good at writing stories. I mean, really, sit down and write a story with a beginning, middle, and end, and do that again, and do that again, and do that again, and do that again. But I imagine to make it in the entertainment industry, you mostly have to deal with politics, right? I mean, obviously the greater world politics, which has completely subsumed the entertainment industry, but also the backstabbing politics of the entertainment industry. I am convinced the reason that we have awful Star Trek now, apart from Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, which I like a lot, the reason why we have absolutely awful Star Trek now is we had Brian Fuller and was it Alex Kurtzman, who were developing the new brand of Star Trek Discovery, and Brian Fuller, fantastic TV producer, like just makes incredibly interesting, innovative, different shows over and over again. With all, you could always tell it's a Brian Fuller show. He did Hannibal, he did Dead Like Me. Very often very brightly colored, very interesting shows. So he lost the political fight with Alex Kurtzman, and Alex Kurtzman took over. I think used up all of his ideas, Brian Fuller's ideas, by episode 8 would be my guess, right? That's where it ended up. You know what? My guess is the battle that took out Brian Fuller was the battle for the uniforms. I reckon he had those brightly colored Enterprise uniforms that we saw, I think, in season 2 a little bit of Discovery as the go-to uniform, and Kurtzman was like, "No, we need some asexual unitard piece of shit." That was boring, right? The one boring bit in that visually awesome scene, right, of the Discovery when it started was so exciting, right? The design of Discovery was exactly the same as the design of the Enterprise for Star Trek Phase 2, which was the aborted 1970s TV revival, which eventually became Star Trek the motion picture. It was like there's a lot exciting stuff like that. It was the one seam of boring going through it, and also Michael Burnham being the worst character ever created. But it's politics, right? That's the skill you need, and the ability to fool somebody in the moment who isn't really paying attention that they've experienced the story when they really haven't. So that is why we're doing this article today. I got at least one article, we might get to two, where the current era of Doctor Who, which is an absolute failure, I mean, just by going by the metrics of every other way we call anything a failure, it is a failure. A lot of the times you have to define your words, because the immediate go-to defense is, what's the definition of that? What's the definition of failure? It's the same definition we always had, right? Nobody watches it, and it's generally reviled, right? That's the definition. Whenever they say that something doesn't exist, it means it exists, and they like doing it a lot. Like the current thing is, well, what does woke mean? Woke's a meaningless term. You can just make it. Okay, that's why I always define it when I'm going to talk about it, right? Woke, in my definition of it, is the uncomfortable platforming of ideology in a previously existing popular entertainment, and the ideology is almost always has two aspects. One, something that everybody agrees with, that like women are people too, black people are people too, gay people are people too, something that everybody has agreed with for a minimally, 30 years, right? Minimally. I would say 50, right? But everybody has agreed to that. And they got a bunch of other ideas that I don't have so much universal, acceptance. Like men can have babies, which if YouTube is listening, which they always are, yes, of course men can have babies. That would be crazy to suggest men can't have babies, or men don't have periods, or women can't have penises. Yeah, that's crazy. If YouTube's listening, which they are, that's obviously what I'm saying, right? But it's a platforming of these ideas, and if ever you question these somewhat more modern ideas, like men having periods, that sort of thing, they then go to the things that we all agree with and say, oh, you hate women. What? No. Who? What? And doesn't matter who they'll say it to. Doesn't matter if you are if you are the person, you are the identity of the people they say they are defending. If you're J.K. Rowling, right, or if you're Noel Clark, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because it's all about just being able to go after people, right? And because why? The same reason there has always been lynchings, because people like them. Because they're fun. It makes them feel strong, right? That's the reason they're weak people lynch. That's just how it works. So with that said, bye. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll get to the article. Like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up my Substack, sign up my pay Substack. All these things are very good. Let's have a look at this article. Doink! Doctor Who. What do we know about the Doctor's family? Now, again, the reason for this is to legitimize the current era and to fool you into thinking you are watching a story, right? They want to tie it to the origin of Doctor Who, to say, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, it says Doctor Who. It says it on the tin. It deals with Doctor's family. Well, you must be crazy, says Doctor Who. I would love to take something that these granola-eating weirdos like and fundamentally change it and put the same name on it. Like, take The Guardian, which is a lefty-lovey newspaper read by everybody at the BBC, and believed in error. Like, if you read The Guardian, you will believe, like, without question, without doubt, that in America it is now illegal to get abortions, and women are being driven into slavery, sexual slavery, being forced to carry babies to term. Oh, the human. That's obviously nonsense, right? But that's The Guardian for you, right? That's I'd love to take The Guardian and turn it into a right-wing tabloid and say, what? What's the difference? It says The Guardian on it. It says The Guardian. What? Why are you complaining? I would love to turn the tables, and what you know what would happen if you do that? You would hear them squeal, right? You would hear them squeal like little pigs, because that's what they do. They can, no one can ever stand being treated the way they treat others, right? No, apart from me, because I treat people pretty darn nicely. I'm waiting for anyone to treat me the way I treat others, right? That'll be fan-freaking-tastic. But generally speaking, if you're a crappy person, you hate being treated the way you treat other people. Like, so, let's get to this article with that. Doctor Who. What do we know about the Doctor's family? The Doctor travels through time with companions the Doctor travels through time with companions at their side. At his side. Like, why? This need to pluralize everything, because you don't know how to. You don't know how to do. Oh, the cat's over here. Didn't even see that. Because you don't know how to do pronouns. Hello, Ninja. How are you? Sorry, I just got distracted. The cat's cute. What do you want at me? I completely forgot. I completely forgot what I was. See, that's what happens when you talk. Oh yeah, there. Like, they need to pluralize. They need to, like, butcher the English language, because their ideology doesn't work within the English language. It blows my mind. But what of their real family? God, his real family, or her real family. Who is the Doctor's family, and what happened to them? There's a picture of Braxito on there. Brax is not the Doctor's family. It was a contemporary, right? Yeah. Oh, that's the dog I can hear sniffing around, not the cat. Anyway, I'm in my basement right now, this whole floor, and we had a little gate up, so to basically stop the cat and the dog coming down there. The cat kind of worked out how to open up the gate and lets the dog down. Now, I kind of like them hanging out down here with me. So that's the minor change in my life. The Doctor has always been a mysterious figure. Well, up until Chris Chibnall came along and said turned mystery into illogic, right? Took away mystery and put in blandness and nonsense that doesn't make any sense, right? The Doctor's always been a mysterious figure. Ooh, spooky wooky, traveling through time and space with their companions, yes, because it's always a multi-doctor. They're talking about, must be talking about multi-doctor stories, right? That's that's the only there they could. Oh, it makes me so crazy. Anyway, as you can hear, because I'm being a bit crazy about this, would think about these commanders are not just friends but chosen family. But what does chosen family mean? I have to say, there's this ongoing push to destroy the idea of family. Now, I like the idea of having, we create our own families, we create our own communities. That's nice. But I think this is more to say, oh, whatever you don't worry what your parents say. They hate you because they're backward thinking yokels. That's why they don't want you to chemically castrate yourself when you're 12. Not because they love you. No, not because they're concerned about you, because they're not your real family. Okay, chosen family. That's it. God, I mean, you need a Rosetta Stone to read articles today. Being there for the Doctor during the darkest age. Well, the Doctor's real family. Doctor Who lore has always been tricky to track, and because it's been mysterious, you blithering idiots. Thus making it hard to determine who the Doctor's real family are. And I have to say, I think this is actually a problem that's going on with Big Finish right now. And I love Big Finish, right? But the more and more and more we see of the Doctor's life, just the more kind of less mysterious it becomes, right? And the more we see, like, the Doctor hanging out with other Doctors or going to Gallifrey or whatever, it just seems a lot less mysterious to me, right? And I think mystery, in a show entitled Doctor Who, may be a good idea, right? Might be important. I don't know what to tell you, right? Man, this thing is freezing like hell today. Oh, never mind. Okay. It's all interesting, hard to determine who the Doctor's family are. Again, do we really need to know? If you want to know most about the Doctor's family, read the novel Longbarrow, which now I think is decanonized, sort of, or put into a pocket universe. The first Doctor, William Hartnell, travelled with his granddaughter Susan, Carol Ann Ford, and since then there have been references to their family in the show, mostly references to them being dead due to the Time War. No, I mean, Patrick Troughton had that lovely speech with Victoria in Tomb of the Cybermen, where he talks about lost family and how they're always with you, right? And there's always been an idea that the Doctor's sort of lost his family or something. It is in his flight from Gallifrey. The majority of what we know from it are from various expanded universe materials, such as comic books and novels, audios as well. By looking at these, it's therefore possible to piece together a loose history of the Doctor's family. All this stuff is quite contradictory as well. Who their parents are, with certain contradictions at times, their siblings, their children, even their wives. And then there's the timeless child that makes everything more complicated or wipes it all away, right? Wipes it all away. I tell you, I do like that Sixes hat Carol Ann Ford wears in this picture. It really just puts it in the right moment in time, doesn't it? I think it's great. The first mention of the Doctor's father in the '96 TV movie, where the eighth Doctor, Paul McGann, records his life in Gallifrey, lying under the grass with his father. I mean, even that I thought was a little bit too much. I think even that gave a little bit too much information up front, and it demystified the character. But yeah, okay, fine. But this all came from the initial Bible for that series. Was his father? He was hunting for his father Ulysses, who was kidnapped by the Daleks or something along those lines. And it basically was a very different Doctor Who. Right, but it was a holdover of that. And the same thing, Doctor reveals one of the most debated aspects in Who canon is that he's half human on his mother's side. It was the same thing! Ah! Why are you so confident and wrong at the same time? Half human on the other side. I essentially, I think they retcon that away by saying he was half human on his mother's side in that generation, right? Which is an interesting idea. I kind of like that. Changing other things. Again, it is important to stress the Doctor Who canon is full of contradictions. However, this is what we know about the Doctor's father. Often referred to as Ulysses, he first appeared in the 1999 novel Unnatural History by Jonathan Blum and Kate Orman. Great book, really great book. Kate Orman's great. Jonathan Blum, kind of just hang on to Kate Orman's talent, right? It was kind of, he stood on Kate. I mean, they're married, I believe. Well, they were married. And appeared several times in novels such as The Infinity Doctors and the Gallifrey Chronicles, both written by Lance Parkin. Both pretty good books, right? Again, I wish Big Finish would be adapting them, right? Because again, it really breaks my heart. This is a lost era of Doctor Who, right? And Infinity Doctors was a pretty darn good one. I did enjoy that one. That's one where they had this bizarre dying TARDIS that was a massive needle. But yeah, listen, all this stuff was riffing on the John Leakley writer's Bible that said that the Doctor's father was Ulysses, but none of that happened, right? It was very, very meta, right? It was very, very postmodern in that they were acknowledging Doctor Who's fictional origins, right? Which was really, very cool. I mean, in the New Adventures, also Lark Parkin and Kate Orman, temples, of that range. The phrase BEM became normalized in future Earth, right? BEM stands for bug-eyed monsters. Now, BEM was an expression invented by Sidney Newman, right? Telling Verity Lambert said, no BEMs, no bug-eyed monsters, and which he then summarily ignored and made the Daleks, right? Very, very cleverly. But yeah, no, it was part of that 90s, 2000s very postmodern feel, which was very fun and really, really worked. In one version, Ulysses met and fell in love with a human woman named Penelope Gate, and the two later marrying, having a son, the Doctor. Yeah, but this account matches the Eighth Doctor's comment about having a human mother. However, other media suggest that his mother has been a Time Lord. Yeah, again, that whole New Adventures range is in its own pocket universe. Probably the BBC's Eighth Doctor range as well now. Where are they? Well, I mean, in story, right? It was set to be in its own pocket universe. Where were they? This I was going back to. However, other media suggest her mother also may have been a Time Lord. The 10th Doctor, David Tennant's final adventure, The End of Time, written 2009 to 10, written by showrunner Rusty Davies. Claire Bloom appears as a Time Lady, credited as a woman. Even though it's not explicitly stated who she is, it's heavily implied that she's the Doctor's mother. And I think there's a bit of a duffer of an idea. Doctor's mother and also the mother of the Weeping Angels, right? Days later confirming in the 2008 book, Doctor Who: A Writer's Tale, that she was fully intended to be the case. Yeah, it was just something that was dropped by Moffat, right? The reason that Jenny flew off at the end of The Doctor's Daughter is because they was kind of intended to bring her back, but I think her role got taken over by River Song, right? But I think that's why she flew off into a couple of Big Finish box sets, from what I understand. Yeah, but like the whole thing with the Claire, it just, none of that really worked. It was a setup. He was setting up for Moffat. Moffat just dropped it. Bit of a shame. Maybe he'll come back to it in RTD too. I mean, could be. Never know. Perhaps, maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. Like, we get a lot of optimism. We see Meet the Beat. We see David Tennant. We see lots of good shooting up. Wow, all this stuff is exciting. And then you have Rusty Davis go, like, lose his shit at a Wolves dinner saying, oh, the Tories are the worst murderers ever. And yes, probably they are. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. But so's the other side, the political aisle. Politicians are bad, mate. Politicians are bad. And generally speaking, whenever we are divided, the population is divided, somebody nefarious is dividing us, right? And Russell, you're too smart. Don't fall for the bull crap, right? Don't fall for the bull crap. And then, man, so much emotional manipulations going on in the world. Perhaps the Doctor didn't have parents at all and was instead created by looms, which were devices used to genetically engineer Time Lords suggested in several expanded universe materials. Okay, no, what this was in Lungbarrow, right? Lungbarrow has each Time Lord house has a loom which makes Time Lords. And there's a specific number I can't remember. Do they have 12? But they're all kind of like they're kind of like siblings. But the Doctor wasn't was heavily intimated not to be a normal Time Lord. When they go back to his prehistory, there was a Doctor-like figure at the very dawn of Gallifrey with the Hand of Omega, and who was one of the architects of Time Lord Society, and Rassilon, Omega, and the other is implied as a Doctor. So the other throws himself into this big laser beam source code matrix thing of all Time Lords, possibly to be reborn at some future time via the looms, which clearly happened, and he's the Doctor, right? That's what happened. So several again. Why not just write from knowledge rather than pure ignorance, right? Well, how about that for a plan? You ever thought of that? No, clearly not. These three possibilities of the Doctor's parentage. Well, you're also forgetting the BBV audios on the faction paradox as well. That also dealt with looms and the change between Time Lords giving birth and the Time Lords being loomed, right? And again, that's totally non-canon. There wasn't even a license, right? The faction paradox audios were really good. In fact, not BBV. Who was it? Magic Bullet. Magic Bullet did Faction Paradox, and they also did Caldor City, both excellent. I mean, really, genuinely excellent. Strong recommend to both. So these three possibilities of the Doctor's parentage just show how many contradictions and possibilities there are in Doctor Who universe. But again, I basically, as I've gone along, explain how these are retconned into one single narrative. And after 60 years, there still remains a mystery surrounding them. Okay? Again, mystery is good, but utter confusion, not good. The prospect of the Doctor's siblings being explored in both novels and Big Finish audio dramas, don't think they ever have been. I can't think of a Big Finish that dealt with the Doctor's family. Maybe there was. I really can't remember. And also, you're also forgetting who was it? Lance Parkin, New Adventure with was it Cold Fusion, I think, with Peter Davison and Sylvester McCoy, in which the Doctor's wife or Doctor's mother was in it. I can't remember. But that was adapted by Big Finish. In these, it's revealed the Doctor had an elder brother named Irving Braxitel, who first appeared in Legacy. I don't remember him being his brother. Listen, I don't remember. It doesn't mean it's not true. By Gary Russell. Braxitel was a political figure on Gallifrey, often holding positions of power, and like the Doctor, later became involved in the last Great Time War. Braxitel was voiced by Miles Richardson in his Big Finish appearance, which also includes Gallifrey series and its sequel, Gallifrey Time War. Okay, best Braxitel is the first 6 or 7 seasons, maybe the first 8 seasons of Bernie Summerfield when she's on the Braxitel Collection. So Braxitel Collection was first mentioned in what's it called again? Not Face of Evil. The one set in Paris. Written by Douglas Adams. what was that? Lala Ward dressed as a schoolgirl, very, 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 very into Tom Baker, right? Very clearly into Tom Baker. It was just on the season 17 Blu-ray. What the hell is it called? It's totally blank. Skagroth is the villain. Oh man, it might come to me as I do this video, or probably more likely as I click the stop button. I go, oh yeah, is that one? City of Death. City of Death. Oh, that was so painful. City of Death. I've read Legacy as well. I don't remember Braxton even appearing in that, but okay. Fine. So, I mean, they're even wrong on the details over here. It's unbelievable. The Doctor has been known to be married many times. No. The show featuring marriages to River Song and Queen Elizabeth I. Yeah, but they're all kind of like faux marriages. I mean, the marriage of River Song and the Doctor was between her and the 12th Doctor for like 40 years before she died, or so, before she went off to die in Silence in the Library, right? In the expanded universe material, there's also reference to marriage to a woman named Patience. Right, that was from Cold Fusion. Patience was a Gallifreyan, but not a Time Lord introduced in the novel Cold Fusion by Lance Parkin, and was married to an incarnation of the Doctor that probably possibly existed before the first Doctor. And again, mystery is good. Removing mystery is bad, right? Patience is said to be the mother of the Doctor's son and grandmother of his granddaughter, Susan. Much like most of Doctor Who canon, Patience's relationship with the Doctor can never be taken as a certain thing. Again, this is all in a pocket universe right now, right? That's how they retcon this whole new adventure universe away. Patience, what was it? That was mentioned in one of the 8th Doctor adventures, which was the book range that succeeded it, right? When they saw, I think I remember somebody looking at a little pocket, like a little globe, and inside there was a little Sylvester McCoy battling thing that was intimated it was the new adventure of Sylvester McCoy. Patient's relationship with the Doctor can be taken as certainly, but it's there, but more of a possibility in an infinite realm of them. From the series conception, it was clear the Doctor had offspring due to Susan. Well, maybe it might be a euphemistic title. And there have been multiple references to the Doctor's children in the show itself, especially the Doctor's daughter. That's not one of the Doctor's children. I mean, it sort of is, but it isn't. In which introduced Jenny, Georgia Tennant, a clone made of his DNA. Right, but that wasn't his daughter. The Doctor's family history is something that will forever be a mystery, with the idea of the Time Lord making a confusing contradictory topic only more so. Again, it took mystery and took a shit on it, right? Ooh, the mystery. Now let me take a shit on it. Yeah, that's the way modern day writers do. And again, why do they do that? Because they can't write bloody stories. And it's to distract you from their inability, and it is an inability to write stories. Doctor's family history is something that will be a mystery, with the idea of the time, blah blah blah. This storyline introduced by Chris Chibnall in 2020 retcons the Doctor's history and saw the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, find out she's not a Gallifreyan at all, but being all for. Listen, this is all going to be wiped away by Russell Davies, right? That's why I think he's being so insanely lefty as well. He is also insanely lefty. Tech Tuna. So it is indeed the case that Doctor's parents are unknown. Fine, but all this is to tie the current era, Chibnall's era, to legitimate Doctor Who, right? That's the function of it, right? That is the absolute function of it. As we see over here, so we have another story here from. This was from back from December, but it illustrates the point. Doctor Who, how Susan's return can fix the timeless child story. Really? What, she's going to return and just erase it? That's the only thing you can do. After Doctor Who Flux, the controversial timeless child, is impossible to retcon. Can Susan, the Doctor's... how's it impossible to retcon? She woke up and it was a dream. It's not hard, right? In the comments on every one of these videos they ever do, they're always coming up with retcons. Is the Doctor's granddaughter the solution? Okay, fine. Then blah 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 blah. Dire changes existing canon, timeless child. Blah 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 blah. Oh look, they're showing you Miss Marvel, which they told us, which must be true. Is the bestest, most successful Marvel TV show ever. Yeah, right. I totally believe that. It did as well as the comic book did, which is failed over and over and over again. Though Dodie Whittaker proved inspired casting upon a backdrop of vastly improved cinematic visuals, no, it wasn't. The showrunner's storytelling philosophy and sparse deployment of familiar villains Cleave Division. I thought they were going to talk about The Division. Cleave Division. Still, those misgivings were absolutely dwarfed by the negative reaction from Doctor Who Season 12 and finally dropped the Timeless Child revelation. Yes, everybody hated it. They hated it because it was shit. You know, it's not hard to work out. But a dramatic monologue, yeah, oh my God. I mean, really, how sad can you get, really? How much more pathetic can you get as a storytelling than to deliver it in monologue? Oh, I know how you get more pathetic. Then you deliver it in monologue from a character that doesn't exist on a backdrop of animation. What was that episode? Can you hear me? Papa, can you hear me? Oh, God, it was so awful. It was so awful. Doctor was revealed to be a visitor to our universe, probably hailing from an unknown planet. In an alternate universe, our biology was spliced into the Gallifreyan. Okay, we know! Timeless Child doesn't merely alter the Doctor's past, but retroactively shift the Doctor's long-standing protagonist from a renegade away to an inherently special chosen one, predestined for greatness. Yes, because it's basically the only story they know to write. So Doctor Who's theorists have conjured up various ways the Timeless Child might be handled. Yes, decanonize it, right? Just retcon it away. Many have involved pretending the whole thing never happened. We're not going to pretend. We're actually going to establish it never happened, right? I have absolute confidence Rosalie Davis will do that. I might be wrong. I hope I'm not. Doctor Who Season 14 maybe find the perfect Timeless Child solution back where it all began, with the Doctor's first companion and very own granddaughter, Susan. Doctor Who needs a solution to the Timeless Child, not a retcon. I don't think that Chris Chibnall can do either because he doesn't have the talent, but I think that's probably coming in the centenary special. Special in the same way the Special Olympics are special, right? And not to denigrate any of those great athletes in the Special Olympics, really. Just to say how essentially handicapped the Doctor Who is under Chris Chibnall. Where we're at. Despite what transpired in the final episode of Season 12, aborting the Timeless Child storyline was possible. Yeah, we know. The entire ordeal may have been an elaborate scheme cooked up by the Master, or maybe Gallifrey's Matrix framed the Doctor to cover up the title. I was really... Okay, yes, everything Chris Chibnall does. You need reams upon reams upon reams upon reams of fan fiction to squeeze in there to have it make any sense. Unfortunately, Doctor Who Flux makes getting rid of the Timeless Child more trouble than it's worth. No, it's not more trouble than it's worth. Again, we just get rid of the whole era. It decanonize it. Boom, boom, gone. During her efforts to save the universe from Swarp and her law, Icky Thump, I always wondered what it'll feel like. What's that, Jodie? What do you wonder what it'll feel like? The end of the universe. Oh, God. It's this just great moments in awful script writing. That's got to be one of the top, right? That's got to be one of the top. I mean, you got the bit where Graham asks for inspiration. She says, you thought I feel a bit socially awkward. Oh, and that, you know what that was doing? That was Chris Chibnall putting himself in front of the camera, right? So he can relate to the Doctor. But Chris, you're not a girl, so you can't relate it to that. They're twisted, insane ideology. Just never ever makes sense. As we saw at the beginning of this video, when they torture themselves with the English language to try and describe the nonsense that they believe. Which of course, again, very clear. YouTube, men can have babies, okay? Men totally have babies, right? Women totally have penises if they want them, okay? Absolutely doodly. Okay, just we have to cover that every now and again. So where we are, it was and stop the flux and beat the Sontarans. Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor reunites with Tech-Toon for the first time since Doctor Who lore began. Or, what, 3 episodes ago since she was introduced, right? Oh, no, how many episodes? She was introduced, it was like 4 episodes earlier. Literally 4 episodes earlier. God. Oh, for the first time since Doctor Who lore began, or 4 episodes ago. Well, however you want to count it. I think it depends on your point of view. How much you want to play that. Vividly brought to life by Barbara Finn. Like the way they wrote out that character as well was awful. Tech-Toon essentially corroborates everything the Master has said in season 12 finale, confirming the Doctor as a refugee from another world and progenitor of all the Time Lords. Yes, I know, but it's all bollocks. It doesn't matter. Christian has only a handful of episodes left to answer the box of timeless child mysteries. Now he has 1 episode, but it's 90 minutes, so it's gonna. Oh god, it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be epically bad. I'm quite excited. And with no reset buttons, the reset button's coming. They're doing okay. They scream they're doing multiverses, right? This is a different universe Doctor. It's already in sight. It's not in sight if you're a moron, right? That might be why it's not in sight, because you are a knuckle dragging idiot. But for anybody who has more than 3 brain cells that they could rub together, they might get a spark and work it out. Doctor Who must align existing lore with Chibnall's canon. Good luck with that, mate. That job may be reserved for Rusty Davis in the unenviable position or for any showrunner to be in. He's going to take care of it in a line, all right? It's going to be 1 freaking line. And the rumor is, and I hope it's true, I hope it's true, that Jodie regenerates and fades to white, right? And then there's, we hear laughter, probably the Master's laughter, and that's it. Never see what happens. It makes so much sense he would do that, right? Makes so much sense. It's in the, I don't know what being, perhaps the key to the Timeless Child material into the, or smoothing Timeless Child material into Doctor Who's older history isn't a new face behind the camera, but a familiar face in front of it. Finally, we're up to it, right? Susan's return can fix the Timeless Child problem. Or what do you do with a problem like Chibnall? From the moment Sacha Baron started spilling the beans, the Timeless Child risked making Doctor Who classic lore obsolete. Not obsolete, just not make sense, right? That's why it's decanonized itself. The concept of the Doctor as a division escapee, whose biology created the Time Lords, treads on the toes of Doctor Who running away from home. And the bigger one is that he had 1 billion lives before Hartnell, right? People are upset about that. But it's not, again, it's all bull crap. Running away from home because he sought adventure, opposed non-interference. To remedy that, the Doctor must address the blank period in the protagonist's history, the first Doctor time, between leaving the division and leaving Gallifrey. Okay, and the chance of finding out what happened to those years, those years. Rest with Susan. Okay. Played by Carol Ann Ford, Susan Foreman, Oh, how much longer is this? Jesus. Really? Okay, fine. We'll have to skim because my brain's starting to melt. Susan would have been around for quite some time between the gap between the Doctor acrimoniously quitting the division and the grandparent-granddaughter duo absconding from Gallifrey. No! This is your fan fiction! I'm glad, and you're like, it must be the only way that my fan fiction is real. No! Maybe she had some sneaking suspicion that grandfather's regeneration wasn't the first pick. Yeah, bullshit crap. Okay. Doctor Who Season 12 even hints Susan might know more about the Timeless Child than even Tech-Toon. When Jo Martin's future Doctor debuted, she referred to her blue box as the TARDIS, which curiously, not only did Susan herself invent the acronym, but the vessel only became stuck in its police. Yeah. This wasn't a mystery. This is the mystery is how did Chris Chibnall get a job as a writer? That's the mystery. Not like how it makes sense. The mystery is, how on earth did this talentless, useless hack of a writer get a job? That's the mystery. Acronym. Joe Martin's doctor, knowing what Susan called her ship, could prove the Doctor's granddaughter possesses deeper knowledge about the timeless child in the vision. Or it could prove Chris Chibnall can't write for toffee, right? Susan revealing how she always had an inkling about the Doctor's past hidden would finally connect the dots between the classic... Oh, God. So basically this guy's fan fiction, right? Who is this? Who wrote this nonsense? Whose fan fiction is? Craig Elvey. Okay, Craig, mate. Yeah, normally speaking, again, I'm doing a review of Mark of the Rani. I don't need reams and reams and reams of fan fiction to make that make sense. What I do need to understand is why the Master is acting like he's Baron Hardup from a panto in that. I mean, it's so weird. It's really weird. It looks like this Master, Alien's Master in not Time Lapse, whatever the story is, Mark of the Rani has discovered ketamine or crystal meth, because he's off his box in this episode, in this story. Okay, fine, we're still talking about this. Bridging the gap between what fans knew of the Doctor over the past 60 years and bits only coming to light now. Susan may be the only character who can speak to both the Timeless Child and the First Doctor as a legendary Doctor Who character. Her return would add emotive impact to the Timeless Child, has thus far lacked. Okay, so this is your idea to save the Timeless Child, right? God, look at Are you looking at the screen? Can you see? Let me see if I can make this bigger. I love, this is Jodie Whittaker trying to act. Let me zoom in on her face, right? I mean, look at this. Really? It's Karen Who, isn't it? It's so Karen Who. She's so useless. Anyway, look, if you like the character, God bless you. I don't. Susan could be a great help getting Doctor Who's Timeless Child to work, but how does she actually come back? Karen will remain active in Doctor Who audios recently, 2013. She may be tempted to make a short on-screen comeback for season 14, or in the Centenary special. There's a bunch of people come back, the Centenary special. If the opportunity for a cameo doesn't appear, the Doctor Who acting legend, that's what regeneration is for. Although Gallifrey has been destroyed twice since Susan's last chronological appearance. Wait, what year was Susan's War? That was more recent than 2013, wasn't it? The First Doctor left on 22nd Earth, where she sparked a romance with anti-Dalek resistant fighter known as David Campbell. Called David Campbell! As such, it's highly unlikely that Susan was on Gallifrey during the Time War. Okay, I did go. Why didn't you go and get Susan's War, which is way better than any of this crap? Have a quick look. Big Finish. Let's see when that came out. Come on. Open up Big Finish. I'm sure it was a couple of years ago, right? Maybe it was before COVID. Right, where's the search? Oh, here's the search. Susan's, and it's really excellent. It's on sale, by the way, right now. So I don't know when it's on sale too, but if you haven't heard it, I really enjoyed this. It's okay. It's half price. It's like $16.49. Strong recommend. Yeah, I think you can get a free episode as well. Let's see what year it came out. Okay, Ian Chesterton's in it. Well, Paul McGann. It's really more info. Okay, give us the more info. 2020. 2013. I mean, like, how can you be so wrong about everything? Unlikely during the Time War or the Master's post-Timeless Child outburst. As far as Doctor Who canon is concerned, Susan Foreman Carroll's whereabouts is unknown. even if it has previously been suggested the entire family is dead. There's no concrete Doctor Who stories to confirm this assumption. I don't think she's dead. The Doctor has previously admitted to avoiding past companions finding a sense of loss too great to bear. Only Jodie Whittaker, right? She's the only one who can't put up with anything. Oh, like you thought, it makes me sad. Knowing about a secret past, the Doctor has been poring over ex-companions' faded memories and long buried truths since the Timeless Child came to light. Digging up the ancient history might bring Susan out of the woodwork, reuniting. Okay, fine. This is just his fan fiction, right? His fan fiction to make the unworkable Timeless Child work. And why do they go back to history? Why do they go back to the original? Why do they do that? Because they can't write bloody stories, right? They can't write stories. They just write crap. Whereas this thing, Susan War, actually has 4 good stories in it. Spherism by Eddie Robson. That's great. That Susan on a diplomatic mission to the Sense Sphere. Uncertain Shore by Simon Gurrier. Yeah, that's the Susan Undercover on War. Susan Vecklin, an ongoing character, undercover on a basically it's like an espionage story. Assets of War by Lou Morgan, where she's evaluating weapons, and sure, it's intervention. It kind of ties into the somewhat ties into Unearthly Child. Both, all 4 great stories, right? Interesting and interesting, well put together. Certainly nothing that could ever be on Screen Rant. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.